Welcome to this edition of Beauty Business Matters, and I am here with Stefania Rossi. And Steph owns Utopia Advanced Skin Care and Beauty Clinic in Hornchurch. And I've known Steph for now over 10 years, since taking over a salon which was failing, to taking it to multi-award winning. Then from there going on to be a speaker, awards judge, author, and now to have the most amazing recruitment agency. And this journey is just fantastic. This is, I'm so excited about us going through the journey that we've had together over, what is it, 10 years or more now?
Well, to be precise, I think the first time we met was March 2013.
Oh my word, oh my word.
I remember I was looking at you, I was watching you at the seminar Pro Beauty.
I know, I can remember from the stage looking out into the crowd and you just smiling and nodding. And I was mesmerised. I kept going around the room and then coming back to you, and it was just, and that was the start of something that is just, your journey has been amazing in our industry. And I think, you know, when we started working together all those years ago, I didn't realise where you were going to take your career to. And so what I want to do today is to start it sort of where you started and why you started with Utopia Advanced Skin Care. And then obviously look at it in two parts, because obviously you've got the side of the clinic and where you've taken that to. Yeah. But now obviously you have Stefania Rossi Recruitment and inspiring everyone from this side and doing so much greatness in our industry as well. So let's start and go right back to, because obviously when we first met, you'd just taken over Utopia. And I think at that point, we didn't realise exactly what you'd taken over.
No, God, honestly. God. Let's go down memory lane, Susan. Yes, when we first met, I think I just took over Utopia and thinking, obviously I came out from a very different background, from a corporate world. As you know, I've had the passion of beauty, so I decided to have a bit of a change of career, and I bought Utopia, which came with its own challenges, and it was the best choice of my life, the best decision I could possibly do of having a change of career. But the same token, possibly one of the hardest decisions, because it had to work. Yeah. I bought Utopia, and Utopia, as you well know, was a failing salon. And at the same time, although I felt quite confident in my skills, in my background skills, in managing teams, in managing performance, I still needed to have that expert support to really make Utopia the leading salon that, in my vision and in my dreams, it had to be. And almost, if you remember, when we started working together, it was literally building a brand from scratch.
Yeah, I can just remember that the salon was it was run on offer after offer, wasn't it? And there was just no way of knowing whether clients were coming in because there was ridiculous offers, or whether it was that they genuinely loved the service. And you know, there was just no metric to look at it. And I mean, you know, I'm not a big fan of discounts at all. So I think once we took the discounts out straight away, that was really where we started to unfold what was actually going on in the salon.
One of the main reasons, if you remember, because it was a failing salon due to discount. It was a discounting salon, but not just that. Do you remember we looked at the treatment times were all out of sorts. There was no pricing structure. Do you remember we didn't even have the ideal client. No. We had, we didn't have data to look, because we had a system, a salon software system that didn't actually match what we wanted to do. Yeah. We had to look at what our clients wanted, work on actually what the needs of the clients was. what the target group was, and ultimately, and very importantly, what the team looked like at the time, what sort of skills they came with, what what the backgrounds were, and kind of almost we had to do everything in sync to bring the team up, understanding the ideal client, putting their pricing structure together, but ultimately bringing in and doing that massive investment, not just purely from a development point of view, training, but ultimately because we needed new equipment. We couldn't bring Utopia to the brand I actually deserved without having the right equipment, the right technologies, the right treatments that the client wanted.
Yeah. And I think, see, the Salon, the previous owner had just fallen into that trap of thinking, we'll just discount hugely and get people in that way, and that really you just end up in a price war with everywhere else. And for you to stand out, I mean, there was just some key things that we did, wasn't there? We changed your Salon software over to Forest. That was one of the best
critical
moves.
Things that we did.
Yeah, and from there we had proper data that we could look at.
Yeah.
I mean, the team, you still, I mean, you retained that team, which is because they were so demotivated because they didn't know what was going on. They didn't have sort of any, I don't think they had a clear vision of where the business could go to until you stepped in.
Yeah. And it was very important to actually sell that vision to them, because at the same time we were like, I need to generate a revenue. So I needed to get that money into the tills, and I needed data because I'm to understand that. But ultimately, we needed the team to support us in that vision, because I needed to secure jobs. Yeah. They were all almost out of contracts, because you remember they were on 0-hour contracts. Yeah. So they needed to really understand the importance and make themselves feel, which is still my philosophy nowadays, that they had a business in my business. And that's always been my kind of management philosophy, that this is your business as much as it's mine. And I think critically that was one of the successes that we had in within the first 6 months as well. Yeah. Obviously, so down to you as well, because you were such a critical person to work with, not just from a mentoring or coaching point of view, but also was the experience that you brought in, because you already did it with your own salon. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, it's a process. That's all it is. And it's like stripping your business back, like making it, like going naked, getting bare, looking at what you've got, and then building it back from there. And then that's what you did in Bucket Loads. But I mean, a lot of people would have just been happy with just turning around. I mean, then you just started taking it to a whole other level. And I think as well, because I could just see the potential in what you were doing. So, I mean, when you won, I can always remember when you won Employer of the Year and things, because I normally judge that, and I couldn't judge it. I was sitting downstairs waiting for you coming back down. But I mean, so well deserved when you did win Employer of the Year, because to maintain and grow a team that had gone from, as I say, a salon where they had no guidance, no clear vision of where they could go, to what you did was fabulous.
Oh, thank you. And I think for me, winning that particular award, which is still possibly the award that is so close to my heart, is because it was this is you guys. It was a massive credit to my team. And yes, I was well known and recognized as the National Employee of the Year within, was it 15 months, 16 months from, starting, the whole transformation that we put together on Utopia. But for me, this is what I can offer you. I'm not just a crazy, mad Italian woman that comes in, changes everything, secures your jobs, but the award for me, that award was for my team. And still nowadays they still talk about that. And yes, I mean, the vision was to continue working with the team, but ultimately making them feel that they are something so important and meaningful, because all these awards that we won over the years, it's just very much how it's down to their hard work and the passion that they have for the clients, and and listening to the client's needs as well. That was, very, very important, because we didn't stand still.
Yeah.
And again, going back to with the data and having that Salon software in place, obviously Forest is been fantastic from the start, because they also had the client at the core of what we wanted to achieve, and everything that reports and Client Reconnect and all the marketing was very much in line with our vision, with our culture in Utopia, and everything that we wanted to achieve.
Yeah, and I think once you can actually see, because like you said, the treatment timings were out, and when you've got that extra 15 minutes, well, sometimes it was an extra 30 minutes added on to these treatments. And the thing is that takes the profit way, way down. So, and when you can actually show a team as well where this isn't working, and show them in like simple form reporting, I think that's amazing.
Yeah. Do you remember we had a bit of a challenge well in our hands, thinking the girls were so used to have that 30 minutes between treatments, and they were like, what? We're not going to have the 30 minutes in between treatments anymore. What are we going to do? And it's like, well, we're going to change. We're going to show you, and we're going to teach you how to do it. Yeah. So it came with, the transformation came with some challenges. But it's almost like amazing.
And I can remember as well when the thing is that I think what we really like putting across is that it is a process, isn't it? That you need to have that clear vision and use those steps to get to where you want to be. But then as well, I can always remember, the events that you were putting on as well, because you can remember having the inviting the mayor to come along and things like that, which is, just something simple, but the recognition, like, within the area that it got, so it's not always thinking of like huge things. It's sometimes just thinking of little things that can get you that bit more recognition, kind of thing.
Yeah, I definitely think that the events and the support from the community overall, establishing relationships with the local traders, with the local shops down the road, definitely helped us with the actual profile of the salon. But ultimately it was a brilliant benefit, because it's always been that relationship of win-win, where we all helping each other, and introducing different treatments or services to one another. And I think that also helped us expand in terms of getting in more of the sort of in front of the community as a whole. And the girls, again, even the team was very very supportive in doing that. And the event was a brilliant way for that network support in those days. And we still continue doing those events. So we do 2 or 3 charity events a year. I think it's been one of those things that everything that we put in place, without having those system and processes and having everything pretty much systemized, wouldn't have been able to get where we are now, for sure.
And just now as well, you've gone very much from being a beauty salon, now really taking it to like advanced skincare level kind of thing, bringing in some great brands and some great equipment, and obviously then it brings in a whole new price point as well.
And that is actually twofold, Susan, because at the same time, yes, it was listening to actually what the clients needed and wanted in the area. We wanted to have that competitive edge. But the same token, as you know me, you've been working with me for a long time, I've always been a great believer that I wanted to create dream jobs for my team. So it was very much, it came as a combination where the clients wanted that, and then it was me talking to the team and say, where do you want to get to? What is your passion? Where do you want to develop? And also it was, that development and investment into getting additional skills for the team, and creating those jobs for the team as well. So some of them wanted to be more advanced into advanced skincare. Brilliant. So we'll bring the new equipment. Others wanted to take more responsibilities. And that's how, I guess, the combination of understanding the client and matching the client needs to the team needs gives me an advantage of having a team that's been with me for many, many years.
Yeah. but this is the thing, taking a team member on a journey is definitely the way forward. I mean, it's so much more costly to lose someone and to have to retrain someone up. And I think this is where, you know, it's critical that there isn't any like cutbacks in training, because, you know, clients now, there's so much choice out there for where they can go. They need to come to an establishment where they know they're going to get top quality treatments, but from professional, knowledgeable therapists. And I see this all the time where it's sometimes, well, maybe we'll not train as much. But the thing is that it's absolutely critical for moving everything forwards.
100%. And even like, you know, our industry is changing, is changing all the time. The clients changing all the time. The clients know more about more treatments. So we always need to be a little bit step ahead of what we can do, what we can offer. And even if from the investment point of view, not necessarily, I mean, you know, it's as a leader or as a manager or as a business owner, salon owner, as we know, it's very much around supporting and informing the team, because there could be training that's a prize put together, and that doesn't cost you that much. You could, you know, the trade shows, it's lots of seminars now, or lots of webinars, and that's why I kind of like, you know, trying to promote to my team to ensure that they actually attend and they get themselves up there in terms of what the industry is doing, ever changing, you know, it's changing on a daily basis.
I think this is the great thing, because, you know, now, over the last few years, there is so much online online learning that companies have embraced to sit alongside, not replace, but sit alongside as like refreshers and things. But I think we've got to be aware of as well that clients are very savvy. They're on Google, they're Googling everything. They know equally as much about these treatments and need to have really, really professional staff. Because as well, I think it's the confidence that a therapist has, because if a client knows equally or more than a therapist, it's just not fair. Absolutely not fair.
No.
And I always think good on a therapist if they're going to move somewhere where they are going to get trained better if someone's not investing in them.
Absolutely.
You know? But what I want to do from here is move on, because obviously your profile from here naturally started to grow, and then and everyone was asking you about like how you've won awards and how you've done all of this, and then I think from there, obviously your passion for the recruitment side, because that was your background, wasn't it? You used to recruit in 5-star
hospitality, yeah. So my background was in 5-star hotels, London, hospitality, restaurants, all type of jobs within the hospitality industry, which I absolutely loved. And I guess that's where my passion comes from, you know, building teams and motivating teams and developing teams, but also as an employer, understanding how to attract the best person into your business. I think that's what is always driven me to obviously having, you know, the recruitment part and even talking and contributing to other employers. I think when we started doing, you know, some of the talks, our professional beauty, and me being totally terrified of speaking in front of people.
I know to remember, because one of the first was when I was putting the teams together to go speaking over in Dubai, professional beauty Dubai, and we went over there.
I was so sick. I was like, oh my God, how am I going to stand in front of a stage and look at all these people and just, why did they listen to me? I was like, oh, crazy, but fun times as well.
But I think, you know, every time I've heard you speak, it's like it is so inspiring, because I think when you come in, I mean, I think for both of us, you know, we living and breathing what we do and kind of thing. I mean, I've still got my clinic, you still got yours. So the thing is that, you know, we know exactly what's going on a day-to-day basis kind of thing.
Yeah. And I guess it's as you start talking to people, it's actually so rewarding in itself, because we almost like talk about our development programs. you know, where we come from, where I started, the mistakes I've made, the challenges, and just being able to actually openly, without, you know, any competitiveness around you, to talk about your journey. It's actually help people. And I think that's where, you know, speaking or contributing, I don't like the word speaking, contributing to events and seminars and things like that actually helped me come out and say, guys, I would just want to share my experience. But I think as leaders, managers, you know, salon owners, as I said before, it's so great to be able to teach other people about our development. How did we start? Yeah. And how did we start? You know,
mine was 36 years
Oh, there
ago.
you are. Yeah. Well, you know, I learned from the greatest. I had a great teacher, and I needed to be a fast learner.
Yes. Well, I think we turned your salon around in about 6 weeks.
Yeah. Well, there was no choice. I put all my life savings into a massive life choice. So yeah, I look back and we're very, very thinking the best decision of my life, really.
Yeah. So as far as the recruitment side now, obviously you've got Stefania Rossi Recruitment, and you've had that now for, is that around about 5?
We launched in Dubai. So I remember that we launched, I think it must have been just 2017. 2006, just after, maybe around that, because I was thinking, what do I do? I still had this niggly thing inside me thinking, do I want to buy another salon? But that, for me, my passion, my drive was around, no, I want to help other employers finding the right people. And that's where Stefania Rossi Recruitment came from. And then do you remember that crazy night? You and I had that massive brainstorming where Hidden Talent was born as well. Hidden Talent, which is currently under total reconstruction, I'm very proud to say. Do you want to say something about that night? I don't know.
Yeah.
If you remember.
Yes, all the best ideas, well, a lot of our best ideas have come out from having a few drinks together. So I mean, the idea behind Hidden Talent was that there is so much hidden talent in our industry.
Yes.
And the thing is that there isn't a resource really that helps therapists to upskill and then to be able to
prepare them.
Yeah, to prepare them. And I mean, see, this is something I know you're developing a lot further now. I just think Hidden Talent and then your side of like the recruitment is just going to be phenomenal together.
Thank you.
And I'll be starting pushing you a little bit further.
I know,
to get that
please. I do need that mentorship again. So Hidden Talent was very much around, and is still very much around, supporting our hidden talent to find us as employers and give them lots of different tips, resources, little things that you might not even think of about how do you present yourself to an employer and why you're going to win that job over another job, just giving them a little bit of information, a little bit of advice, as I said, tips, some learning content. There is me doing lots of videos about things that as an employer I'm looking for, things that as an employer I don't like in candidates, and mostly it's around preparing these individuals, which is our future workforce in the industry, to become more employable. We want them. We are looking at them. And as you know, and Stefania Rossi Recruitment is where I match, you know, the employers to this amazing talent. And you know, as you and I just finished recruiting, we done both a massive drive mine was for a receptionist, yours was
for front desk and sales administrator. And I mean, I speak to so many salon owners who'll say, you know, there's nobody great out there, and you know, I think because with the short course business bundles we have in Beauty Directors Club and the things that we have in like our programs, it means getting very specific on who you're looking for, rather than, because if you put out a wishy-washy application thinking, right, we'll just cover all bases, you're just going to get the same back kind of thing. So the more specific you can get on your recruitment process, and this is again where you've nailed it, it makes a huge difference. So I mean, I've just recruited for my position, you've recruited for yours. I took mine down after 4 days because I had 110 applicants. And I would say that well over 90% were fit the criteria and were employable. And you had how many, Steph?
I had 276 CVs, and I took it down within, I think, 9 hours. And again, I think, yes, I agree, Susan. 90% were, absolutely, they ticked all the boxes, and it just comes down to how close they were to my culture, to my environment, and the team dynamics. Yeah. So the people that I kind of shortlisted were the people that I felt more inclined to they were more aligned to our business. But that, again, and you and I have this conversation many times every time we meet, is that employers, we need to help that individual find us. And across the industry over the last couple of years, particularly, we hear a lot about there is no good quality staff. Where are all the great therapists gone? And for me, is like, I always ask the same question to employers. What are you doing to present yourself as an employee of choice? They need you, they need to find you. So every single little tip that we can give them about, the adverts you said, be specific and do not compromise. Compromise in certain things that you can compromise on, but don't compromise on the person's profile that you're looking for, and particularly on that ad, because the ad is just a catch, isn't it?
Yeah, I always like to say, just, make sure that you have even a fictitious person in mind kind of thing that you're writing this job spec for, but make it so that it's very, very succinct and precise of what you want. No fluff, just facts.
Absolutely.
And I mean, obviously for reception and things like that, you will always get more applicants. But I mean, I have like a social every week with all the members, the salon owners in Beauty Directors Club, and we have literally, we have where someone's recruiting and they'll get possibly 24, 30 applicants, all good quality. There are great people out there, but it's just, I think you've got to like make sure that as a business, you've got the right profile, you coming across right, you are somewhere that someone would want to work. And then get very, very specific on who that you want. Yes,
and I think, again, one of the mistakes that we do, and I used to do as well in the past, and I see many employers doing, is that recruitment becomes a reactive process.
Yeah.
And again, yes, I do as a job, and that's my passion, but I also think I do it as a salon owner as well. My recruitment, my biggest advice is always been, make sure you have a process, a protocol. We've got protocols for how we greet client. Why don't we have a process about your recruitment plan? Because if you know exactly the person you're looking for, when, and you actually timetable, define those jobs, when you're going to have that skill gap, kind of an idea when you're going to bring in new treatments, when you're going to be promoting an individual. And yes, of course, things happen. Like we know someone, we got pregnancy, we've got someone that decides to change career, things like that will take out, they will kind of like, ooh, but in the moment that the recruitment becomes reactive, that's when we rush and we make mistakes and we run around and we employ the wrong people.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, I always like have to have everyone having a plan B, your plan C, your plan D in place, because the thing is that, I mean, for us, I've got one girl away on maternity leave at the moment, and as well we've got someone on adoption leave. Now maternity, at least you have that process of when a baby's going to be due roughly, but adoption leave, that happened with a matter of weeks kind of thing, so you don't have that time to prepare. So it's always a case of like, well, in every area of the business, I always make sure that everyone has a plan B and plan
100%.
C, so that it just takes the stress out of the business as well.
And one of my missions in this life is to inject some fun into the recruitment process. And I just say to employers, look, you have the most amazing job of going and looking for your next amazing person. How can it not be like one of the most fantastic parts of your job.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a chore. It doesn't have to be. So just go and follow that process, because ultimately I feel quite excited about finding someone else for my team, or when I go obviously recruit for other people. But it's the most amazing, because they will bring some an addition to your business. They're going to be your next star. You never know. But it's just the beauty of going and searching for the next person.
And I know I always, and I think you're exactly the same, I always recruit on personality.
Always.
I always think you can give someone skills as in like knowledge and training, but that attitude and just someone having that sparkle in their eye kind of thing. You can just see that passion in someone and wanting to move forwards. I always know that when someone says, well, we just didn't have anyone, so we just chose the best out of the that was there. It's a hard way to do it. So
but isn't it crazy, Susan? And again, it makes me laugh, because when we go and purchase a piece of equipment, the next brand new piece of technology for the salon, how long does it take us? We research, we do the facials, do 3-4 facials before I buy that piece of machine. I look at reviews, but when we look for the next amazing person, we just rush it. Why?
Yeah,
but it's just, as I said, it's just about process. If we have that process in the business, we'll take an awful lot of stress out of the business.
Now I know for because you now are one of our experts in Beauty Directors Club, and as well I always call on you for different things within programs as well. And I also know that you also for Forest did some education for them, and has that been the most popular?
Yes, I've done a Grow Masterclass in the Forest Academy, which was launched last year. We had amazing feedback. It was one of the most popular masterclasses all on recruitment. They are it is so easy to follow. There's videos, there's different documents that are produced. There is a recruitment plan you can do in your own time, and we're just about to relaunch it again in September for another year, and it's free to all the Forest clients, it's an amazing little piece of work that every single employer can do. And even if you want to refresh a little bit on your recruitment, there's lots of ideas about where to advertise, what to advertise, and it's all my kind of it's a combined masterclass on recruitment that I've for the last 25 years of my life. But also I did one for you on the recruitment bundle on the BDC.
Yeah. And again, it's so popular, and it things like it's dateless as well, because these skills just transfer no matter what the economy is. And I mean, we've gone through a few different changes in the...
But you never know. There might be one little thing that you think might change. It might change someone's mind, or might change actually apply that. It totally changes your way of thinking, or will actually give you that little success into your recruitment. You never know.
It's skills that are transferable, but they you need to implement them. That's the thing. And someone quite often will look at something and think, oh, that'll not work for me, but it definitely does. And we live in proof.
We're always learning.
In 36 years, I've only lost one therapist ever to another salon, and I think you're pretty much the same way. Your team have gone through so much. You've kept them, and then from the recruiting side, I know that the therapists who are moving into positions that you're putting them into are staying for the long term, because it's that match that we've just been talking about.
It's just putting that extra effort at the start. It will make such a big difference as well. But we're always learning. We're always learning. So and that's the beauty, I think, of this industry. Is a lifestyle, isn't it?
Fabulous, yeah. And it's just, I mean, we both love our industry. So if someone wants to get in touch with you, Steph, how can they get in touch with you?
Okay. So my Instagram, Stefania Rossi Recruitment, is possibly the first protocol. My email address, stefania@stefaniarossi.co.uk. My website, Stefania Rossi Recruitment. And if they go on your Beauty
Yeah.
Directors Club. All my details are on there as well.
Yeah.
And I'm only a call away. Any help I can give, really.
Yeah, thanks, Steph. That has been absolutely amazing.
Thank you for
so,
having
so
me.
much.
It's always, we could talk forever, don't
I
we,
know.
Susan?
And we do.
It's never enough.